What's up, everybody? The Iceman here on the Iceman's Return YouTube channel. The man with the plan, the man with the knowledge, the man with the wrestling news, and the man that has an opinion just about any wrestling promotion there is to date. And yes, I do have some thoughts and my opinions here tonight. Um, Donning a monster drink, of course, which I love monster drinks. You only can drink maybe one or two a day if that, because you got to, worry about, when you get older, your heart, your health, and whatnot. But anyway, I was talking to my nephew Matt earlier. Matter of fact, it wasn't even an hour ago. I was talking to him. We were talking about wrestling promotions. He was talking about Jeff Jarrett's podcast and whatnot, and how he would like to be affiliated with Ring of Honor and Global Force Wrestling and whatnot. And like I was telling Matt, I said, this would be a great thing. Maybe Jeff Jarrett could get Ring of Honor really. They're on the map. They're on a little tiny speck of the map. But maybe Jeff Jarrett can put them on a big, big spot on the map, like he did in his first, 7, 8 years in TNA, where he made TNA, Impact Wrestling. People did not realize how great TNA was back in the Jeff Jarrett days when they had the NWA titles going on. These are the days prior to Dixie Carter. They were great times. They were. If you watch the pay-per-views, there was pyros, there was just stage. I mean, it was everything. And they had tons and tons of talent. So, like I was talking to my nephew Matt, we were talking about, you know, we were talking about TNA last night, and I said to him, I go, "Did you watch the show?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I watched it about midnight last night." And I told him, I said, "What'd you think?" I personally, I thought it was a great show. I thought from the very beginning to the very end, I thought it was a great show. Um, he, for the most part, liked it a very lot. He is not a fan of short matches. He's not a fan of a lot of the segments. And like I said to him, I go, well, they really aren't that much different from the WWE, because the WWE has tons and tons of segments. They have very, very short matches. Um, but all in all, um, things could be totally different. Now, when I look at TNA and I looked at the show that they had last night, the 2 hour TNA Impact Wrestling on Destination America, um, with the roster they have, they totally delivered. They delivered. And I honestly, you know, I don't know what's coming in as far as new talent goes. Little by little, we see, we saw Drew Galloway come in. We saw Mark Andrews come in. We saw Awesome Kong come back. Uh, we don't know what else we have in store for TNA. But little by little, they're getting, talent coming back in. But the point of it is, with the roster they got, as small of a roster they have, they do put on a pretty damn good show for 2 hours. Granted, I don't think they have a big enough roster to put on pay-per-views, but hopefully in time, as the year goes on, the roster gets bigger. Hopefully Dixie can, sign some other people. I don't know what her financial issues are, but I'm liking what I see. And, then you go over and you look at like Ring of Honor, which has loads of talent. I mean, let's face it, guys. Ring of Honor's got talent up the yin yang. And it's obviously a monetary situation. This is why Ring of Honor is not, you know, um, where it could be in the wrestling world, which I think Ring of Honor really has the opportunity with financial backing, where they could be escalated up there in the ranks right near the WWE. And, but Jeff Jarrett was talking about that as well, that he's hoping, you know, he's got an announcement coming in probably April, that he may have some sort of affiliation with Ring of Honor, and with Jeff Jarrett's backing, financial backing, what could this mean? This could mean huge, huge, huge things for Ring of Honor. Now, with all that being said, I mean, I love this idea. I love it. Um, I also love the fact, uh, before I forget, because sometimes you lose your train of thought when you get older, and something, sometimes these monster drinks don't really help you that much. But there was a Northeast wrestling show, Friday night here in Connecticut. It was near the Waterbury area. We saw AJ Styles there. We saw Alberto El Patron there. We saw the Young Bucks there. We saw Jerry Lawler there. Roddy Piper was there. And there was Matt Hardy there. There was a number of other wrestlers there. Now, this only happens with promotions that allow their stars to go off and do these kind of events. Now, realistically, here in Connecticut, if these promotions never allowed these stars to do these things in Connecticut, when will we ever got to see the likes of the Young Bucks or AJ Styles? I mean, seriously, this is like a dream come true to a lot of professional wrestling fans, and this is why I like what these smaller promotions do. I think it's a great thing for the world of professional wrestling. It's a great thing for the fans all around, anywhere, and I just love what they do. Now, moving on, um, as far as like the WWE goes, like I said, TNA puts on a great show with a very, very limited roster. WWE has a roster that, you have your Raw, your SmackDown, which pretty much everybody is within the same. And then you have NXT and the WWE. Yeah, yeah, they draw like 3-4 million, viewers every Monday night. But I think they're complacent in my eyes. Like the Divas division, AJ Lee, Paige, Nikki, Brie Bella, Alicia Fox, Natalia. Who else do you really see involved in the Divas title? That's why, like NXT, you got Sasha Banks, you got Charlotte, you got Becky Lynch, you got Bayley, you got Carmella. What are you waiting for? Bring them up. The WWE is really not thinking really too straight, because with these women, you don't have to put them on the main roster, but you can bring them in for a Monday Night Raw and have them get involved in Divas matches, and you can make those matches very, very phenomenal. The same as the guys, Sami Zayn, Adrian Neville, Finn Balor, you got Kevin Owens. What are you doing bringing back Rhino and the Brian Kendrick? This is, I'm not going to get into it, but WWE has a roster that is like 3 or 4 times bigger than TNA. I don't know what I would compare them to ROH, because ROH has a huge roster as well. But the WWE could make their show so much better. Now, don't get me wrong. I love watching WWE. I love watching TNA. I love watching Ring of Honor. I love watching them all. But my point being is, why is the WWE so complacent to keep just these same guys to appear on Monday Night Raw week after week after week? Everybody's bitching about seeing John Cena. Everybody's bitching about the Kanes and the Big Shows and the Randy Ortons. Well, if you take these 4 guys off, who are you gonna put on? You never do anything with it, and that's the thing. I mean, WWE has a very, very talented roster throughout the whole business. And how long is it going to take for them to bring these guys up? Everybody's complaining. I mean, what is it going to take to bring these guys up? NXT's got some great talent. Neville, Zayn, Owens, Balor. And then the women, Bayley, Lynch, Charlotte, and the boss, my babe, Sasha Banks. What's it going to take? I mean, you can keep them down there for so long, but you want to know something? By keeping them down there, you're hurting the current product, which the current product does need a boost. And let's face it, the WWE roster right now, we don't even know what's going on at WrestleMania yet, for the most part. We may have 3 matches that are all figured out. Now, this is a time of year where most matches are already taken care of. Now, if you don't believe me, check back year after year after year. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. This is why, when people say TNA sucks, with the roster they got, and you watch their show on a Friday night and you say they suck, don't figure. It don't figure. They put on a great show. If nobody saw the Wolves versus the Revolution on Friday night, you missed out on a great match. If you didn't see the triple threat match with Angle, Eric Young, and Bobby Roode, you missed out on a great match. And this is with a promotion that has very limited superstars. And then yet we compare them to the WWE, and the WWE with 4 or 5 times bigger of a roster still showcases less people on Raw and SmackDown than TNA does on a TNA Impact show. Don't figure to me. But anyway, I wanted to bring this out there. The bottom line is this is always just the Iceman's opinion. I love TNA. I love Ring of Honor. I love the WWE. WWE was the first promotion I ever got to watch until I got access to NWA and then Worldwide Wrestling Federation. Sort of like went down the tubes in my eyes until the day Vince McMahon ended up taking over from his dad. And when they fucked up Bob Backlund, when Arnold Skaaland threw in the towel, where Backlund lost to the Iron Sheik, which he said he would not give up. He did not want to turn heel. Vince McMahon wanted to turn him heel. Backlund said, no way in hell. I have too many, kids that follow me. So Arnold Skaaland, they came up with a plan. They threw in the towel. Backlund lost to the Iron Sheik, and it's history. And then here comes Hulkamania. He came in. He defeated the Iron Sheik, and Hulk Hogan was stolen away from the AWA, which, look it up in history. Vince McMahon has been very, very devious, but he also is a very smart businessman. So that's all I got to say tonight, guys. I mean, I sort of went a little bit random tonight. But the bottom line is, when you watch wrestling for all these years, and when I watch NWA, it was like wrestling. I mean, it was like gut-wrenching wrestling. And then, watching the old Worldwide Wrestling Federation, the bottom line is, when you were champion there, you never lost. How long did Bruno Sammartino have his WWF title? How long did Backlund have his title? Anybody that had a title. Pedro Morales, Intercontinental Champion. A great champion in my eyes. Don't get me wrong. How long did he have that belt for? Nobody ever lost, especially when you watch them on TV. You either had to, go to Madison Square Garden or the Philadelphia Spectrum, which were the two places that they really went to because this was back in the territorial days. Um, it was, it's just how it was back then. And, I know I got off topic, but when you love wrestling the way I do, um, you try to you defend every promotion because I am a territorial guy. I really am. I love the AWA. I love the WCCW. I love the Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling. I just loved it all. And once Vince and Ted Turner and the Crockett's and everybody got involved, they really sort of messed it up. And it is what it is today. Um, you can't change that, but now we see the emergence of like the little promotions. PWG's been around a long time. Ring of Honor's been around a very long time, and I think they need to get their due. And that's my point. I've said it in a previous video before. With financial backing, with the roster that ROH does have, ROH is very competitive to the WWE. Maybe a lot of people don't want to agree with me with that, but they are. I think with TNA, um, I think they're on a building experience. It's a new building experience, but I think they could end up getting there once again. It all depends on, what Dixie Carter and her family want to do with them. But I love it. I love the world of professional wrestling. I always will. Um, I'll always defend it, but I am opinionated. So at certain times, if I critique the WWE, it's not that I don't like them, but it's just an opinion. If I critique TNA, it's the same thing. The same thing with Ring of Honor. The same thing with Lucha Underground. It's the same thing with all the promotions that come out there. But I want to point out Northeast Wrestling. They had their WrestleFest. I believe it was 19. Great show. Um, a lot of stars. When you can get AJ Styles in Connecticut, along with Alberto El Bertran, Matt Hardy, the Young Bucks, and all these other guys, what more can you ask for? This is what it's all about, guys. So, anyway, it's a Saturday night. Peace out, everybody. I know I've been long winded and I apologize. We'll see you next time. Have a great night.